In this video, I am going to show you just some of the basics, which we're already covered in getting started, but a few more details just about the workspace and the windows and how to control them. You'll see we have the same file pulled up here that we ended with in the last video. Uh, Things you can do around here is you can move your plug-in windows anywhere, even to the other screen, which is now on my second monitor, which you can't see, but you can get things out of the way. Also, you can make this just a little smaller. You can drag these windows around just however you want to. Hold the Alt wheel to scroll vertically with your mouse wheel. Hold the Alt button and scroll horizontally to zoom in on a section. You can put your cursor right there to zoom in horizontally. And that is how you just navigate the arrange window here. Also, you will see that you have a marker track up here. We use markers, especially during festivals, but you can just click this plus sign and it drops a new marker. If you're not in record mode, you can double click that marker and give it a name. I can just say, test 1. However, if you are recording, then you can drop a marker, and oftentimes I say, hey, just drop a marker if you need to. So you can drop a marker, but notice now I cannot change that. But you can come over here to the list view and go to markers and select this marker here, double click it. Notice how down below it's active, and now I can say test 2, click done. And I'm going to go ahead and close that marker window. I can scroll out and you'll see my test 2 marker. I can't move it either, but I could come back and adjust it later if I needed to. But that's how you navigate that. You can also see over here the files that we had recorded earlier. If I press stop, you will see the next 2 files show up in this list. So that is my project bin. I really don't need these files, so I'm going to hit Command Z. I would not recommend this for our recordings. We don't want to undo the recording. And by the way, when we record a recital, we typically record start to finish. We're not stopping between pieces. We start early. You don't want to miss the start. And make sure you get to the very end, past any encores. Keep heads up. This is a live performance. You don't get a second chance to like you do in a recording studio environment. So you want to be recording everything. Again, over here, the windows, you have the groups, which is what you normally will find yourself using. You can close the plugin window. If by chance you've accidentally done that with some kind of unknown hotkey, you can scroll up and you will see the plugin strip here, any channel plugins. Just get in the middle of that, double click it, boom, it opens right back up to where you had it before. And this is where you can drag faders around, covered in other tutorial videos. I'll show you about the specifics on plugins. I just want you to get good and familiar with the workspace and seeing what you need to in Logic. Another couple little handy tricks is right over here in the far right you'll see a wide view and a narrow view. Typically we only have a few tracks, so you might as well just keep them in the wide view, but that's just a way to compact your channel strips to get them more visible, see what you need to see. One other thing of worthy notice is right up here in the center you have a couple of choices. This on the left is your left click tool. Right now it's the pointer. We have the pointer tool. Works very well for selecting things. And you have the right click tool. Well, right now it's on automation select. Usually I think your template will bring you up with the marquee tool, which I will explain later. And so now my pointer tool is the left click. I can select things. And notice because my groups are active, that when I selected it, both selected. If I edit, whatever is selected is also being changed. If I turn my groups off and click on a file, now I can independently edit them. I don't really ever recommend doing that for our purposes because we're recording all these things in sync with one another. So whenever you're editing, I'm going to hit Command Z a few times here. whenever you're editing, you want to make sure you have groups on, just in case you're cleaning off the head or tail. Like if you have a bunch of junk at the beginning, you can do that. Click, drag everything over just to keep it tidy. Clean up the end just because you weren't sure if they were going to do another piece, and then you have what's left in between. I'll start working with some other realistic examples here in the next video. But anyway, select a marker. I can delete a marker, whatever you need to do. I can hit undo. I can adjust that marker as long as I'm not in record mode. Even I believe play mode, I can adjust the marker, but not while you're recording. Up here you have the transport controls. You can hit this to record, obviously stop. Spacebar plays and stops. The asterisk key, numeric key, 10 key, asterisk key will kick you into record. And this is the software monitoring button, another one of those gotcha buttons. If that is not on, you will not hear anything in our environment. You could have your tracks armed and you can see people playing. You can even see the meters bouncing up and down here, but you won't hear anything because that's just how we have it routed here in the CWU studio for our purposes. So that is most of it. Let's see, what have I missed here that's important? This button right up here will allow you to vertically zoom. Okay. That can be handy. It'll change your waveform, which you don't see. You'll see that on other videos, I'm sure. And down here, it's also kind of neat to notice that whatever I select, notice this lower left corner, Recital Hall Figure 8, Recital Hall Omni. Even if I have my mixer window closed, which is a shortcut key of X, because I want to see nice and big, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to see my silence, my recorded silence in larger than life view here. I have the ability, even though the mixer is not open, if I want to change the recital hall volume, I can just do it right here. If I want to change the figure 8 volume, I can change that volume here. If I turn mixer back on, you'll also see the corresponding faders change. Since the groups are active, both of them are changing. If I turn my groups off, you will see that only the selected channel is changing. This right one, the right channel strip here, is wherever the first channel is routed to. It's primary routing. So that is the master, which should always be set at 0. If you accidentally move it and you want to get it back to 0, don't fuss. Just, and you don't need to sit there and play with it. You can simply just hold the Alt key, click the fader, boom, back to 0. So, oftentimes I just turn that off so I can get a better view and see what I'm doing. And then keep in mind you can adjust the volumes. I can also unarm. Of course, I have not unarmed both tracks because groups wasn't active. Anyway, hit X. There's the other key. Turn them on, turn them off. That is how you navigate most of the important windows and features in Logic Pro. What else could I have missed? I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and turn our L2, bring it back into view here, and we're good to go. Thank you for watching.